All right, so we did kind of mention it in the previous topic, but with the way that Matt Moore played against the Green Bay Packers, the question has to be asked with Pat Mahomes being injured. Uh, does this game prove, or does it say that Pat Mahomes is made by Andy Reid's system, or does Pat Mahomes make that much of a difference? So, what are your thoughts on that?
All right, so I wouldn't go as far as to saying either one of them is made by each other. I want to say Pat Mahomes is made by the system, and the system's not made by Pat Mahomes. Um, as you know, Andy Reid's been doing it for a while. We got Donovan McNabb thinking he's a Hall of Famer. Sheesh.
Yeah, that's a fact. Donovan McNabb would not be a Hall of Famer. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, let's
Syracuse,
just get that out there.
it was crazy because Syracuse fans used to come up to me saying, "Oh, Donovan McNabb, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer." Not because of him, not because of his play, but you go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, but then but then again, um, Patrick Mahomes, it takes a lot of talent, and his arm strength is incredible. I do believe he gambles a little bit too much,
Yeah, with all
but
those flashy passes.
yeah, but then again, he has the weapons. So, and Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, all those dudes, that fast dude that they got. I'm sorry, I forgot his name.
McCole Hardman.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, out
He's
of
super
Georgia.
fast. Yep. But yeah, Matt Moore had a good game. So I guess that goes to show you that the system is great. The system works. As we've been seeing for what, as long as injuries have been calling plays. But then again, it also takes Patrick Mahomes' talent to take that system to a whole different level. You could do a whole bunch of different things when you got him. But then again, I feel as if you didn't have him, I guess you could still have a decent QB of an above average QB, and you'll still do well. See, they scored 24 points, and he went head to head with Aaron Rodgers. Which, if you're doing that,
Yeah,
that says something. That's still
that's pretty
good.
phenomenal.
Yeah, that's one of the greatest QBs to ever play. Yeah, I mean, it's not really much to say. The QBR, I don't really put too much stock in the QBR. Like I said last podcast, it takes into account all different things. It's bull jive. But
I
yeah, I
mean,
guess
it takes into
it's off and
account.
off.
I just want to say QBR. I do think is relevant because it does take into account the quarterback's running ability, and that's why I like QBR personally, especially at the college level, because it's hard to quantify. You know, when you're just looking at passing stats, that's not the only way a quarterback can influence the game and impact the game. I think that
Hmm.
quarterbacks that do use their legs need to have, be given credit for that. And I think that QBR is a stat that can do that. But sometimes it is misleading when you just look at it by itself. When you look at it in conjunction with everything else, then I feel like it's a useful stat. But when you look at it isolated, I don't think it, I definitely think
Yeah,
it's definitely misleading to say the least.
it takes into account sacks also, right?
Uh, I'm not sure. Somebody have
Or is
to
that QB
correct me.
rating?
I'm
I don't
not.
know.
I
It's
really
one of
don't
them.
know. But somebody will have to correct me on this. But I don't think it takes into account QBR. Or I mean, QBR doesn't take into account sacks. Because I also think it doesn't take into account like interceptions that were you know costed by the wide receiver. But I could be
Yeah,
wrong about all of that. I'm not sure. I just know that the running game is displayed through QBR. So, but you finished?
yeah. I'm finished. I'm finished.
All right. I'll say this that Pat Mahomes I'll say that I've definitely gotten on, or not gotten on him because I'll never hate. Like I said last podcast, I'll never hate on somebody for having a great system with great weapons around them. But when you do compare quarterbacks, you do have to take into account that that is the case. And again, Andy Reid has been doing this for years. I mean, not just with Donovan McNabb, but he also did it with Michael Vick, he helped resurrect his career. Even though Michael Vick definitely was one of, he was a great QB. I'm not saying that he wasn't. I'm just saying, he got him right when he came out of jail. And so he
Yep.
helped resurrect his career and make him sort of more of a pocket passing QB. Because, when he was with the Eagles, nobody really, thought of him as the Atlanta Mike Vick, which was make plays with your legs and make all these crazy, jukes and spin moves and all that. He was more thought about that rocket arm, and launching it to Deshaun Jackson, and doing all the little things in the passing game. So, and he also helped out. People don't think about it, but he helped out with Alex Smith too. Alex Smith isn't horrible,
Oh
but
yeah.
that he is check down Alex. All right, he does check the ball down a lot, and he was able to turn him into a pretty decent quarterback. They weren't able to win any big playoff games with him, but the fact that they even got that far and got the records that they did, that's phenomenal. But I definitely think that Patrick Mahomes is not made by the system, because even when you look at this game isolated, it was 31-24. Matt Moore had a chance at the end, and Andy Reid had the chance at the end to go make a play and to go tie that game up again and maybe get the game to overtime, but he didn't do it. And that's because Matt Moore is limited in his ability. So I don't think that, if your quarterback has limitations, I don't think you can run that style of offense and it work all the time, because you do have to have the intangibles as a quarterback. And so when people look at Pat Mahomes and try and say, oh, Andy Reid is making him, that's just not true. That's underrating him. And I didn't even think underrating Pat Mahomes was even possible. But when you look at it that way, or maybe it's not underrated, it's just over-hating on him when you say something like that, because he does have those intangibles and he can make those plays late in games that could put you over the top. And that was the difference in this game, is Green Bay had Aaron Rodgers, Chiefs had Matt Moore. When Aaron Rodgers needed to make a play, he made the plays. When Matt Moore needed to make the plays, he couldn't, because he's limited. He is a backup quarterback for a reason. And so I definitely think that Pat Mahomes is phenomenal, and I think he is top two in the quarterback conversation, especially when it comes to young quarterbacks. Maybe top 3 total. It depends on what you look at and what your order is, but he's definitely in that upper echelon, no question. And I don't think people should lose sight of that in his, with him being absent, because with the way our brains work these days, all the studies showed, we're very short-sighted in our ability to think, and that we only look at the immediate, like, what are you giving me now? And right now, Pat Mahomes is hurt, so he can't give you anything, and so he kind of goes to the back of your mind, and then you start to think, like, when you see these games by Matt Moore, you start to think, oh, is he really that phenomenal? Yeah, he is. He definitely is. We should not forget about that just because he's hurt and he's not playing right now. Just because you're not getting film on him does not mean that you could just put him and lower him down, lower your expectations of him and your thoughts of him. So I definitely think that Andy Reid is a phenomenal coach, but he needs Pat Mahomes to take that offense to another level, because when he's in there, it's historic what they can do with those weapons, with his arm talent. So I definitely think that Andy Reid's system doesn't make Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is legit. And this is coming from somebody who was saying that, like, I knew about Pat Mahomes before, but I thought that he wasn't going to be that good, honestly. I thought he was going to be a project quarterback and he was going to take like 5 years to develop, because I remember having a conversation with somebody on Instagram, a Chiefs fan, saying, oh, Pat Mahomes, he's the real deal. He's going to be better than Deshaun Watson. I was like, hold on a second. This man, and this was coming off their rookie year where Pat Mahomes didn't even really play but one game. So I was like, hold on, pump the brakes. Deshaun Watson's by far the better quarterback. And then when Pat Mahomes came out, you see he had an immediate impact. And so that can't be underrated. You can't you can't hate on that for sure. You can't. I mean, when you're able to come out and immediately as you step on the field like that, you make a impact, that's crazy. And that's why both those quarterbacks are definitely in the upper echelon of quarterbacks right now, is because they're young and they still are getting it. I mean, you look at, again, Mitch Trubisky struggling because he's just not that dude. And he wasn't, and I don't even think he was really prepared. I mean, he came in his rookie year and he had to play. But he wasn't able to make that difference because he's not that game changer that Pat Mahomes and Deshaun Watson is. So, I definitely think that, again, Andy Reid is not making Pat Mahomes. But, yeah, for sure. But if you like this video, definitely click the like button. Also, if you're new to the channel, click that subscribe button and hit the notification bell below so you never miss, dadgummit, you never miss an upload or stream. I'm going to leave that in there just so y'all can laugh at me, because I'm not afraid of my mistakes, all right?